Hello Steve, Trekboy89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, I recently saw a video which I found baffling. Axanar have their YouTube channel and they did a 10-year anniversary of something. And I'm like, of what? Of the film you didn't produce? Of the project you started and haven't finished? Of the sort of group that you sort of started? And I don't quite understand what they were celebrating or what they were highlighting. I watched the video and I just couldn't really take it seriously. And I did sort of observe something and I was just sort of curious. I was wondering about this and wondering what other people think. But this whole thing started when they were proposing to do a big fan film, like a full-length feature film that was supposed to be feature film quality. And the way to sell this and to fundraise and get the money to make this was to do a documentary, basically a Starfleet resource that was supposed to be, a Starfleet resource, where it was showing the 4 Years' War and what happened. And then the idea was we're going to make the film of this event that we've sort of shown in the documentary, which is very clever because it's very, very manipulative and very clever to make people think like they've seen the documentary and they've seen what you can do when really all you've done is talking heads and effect shots. So I was never really sold on them being able to produce it in the first place. Now I know Robert Meyer Burnett and some people worked on some scenes that really were quite dynamic and kind of worked, so maybe they could have. But the idea of selling a feature film on, a featurette which was just based on documentary style always seemed a little bit iffy to me. But they did, and they raised a lot of money, and then there were problems, and I'm not going to go into any of that because it's all litigious. And there have been a lot of accusations made of impropriety and so forth, and unprofessionalism and so forth. I won't say who, where, what, when, or why. But basically, it's public record that Axanar was sued by CBS, and they never produced the film. And now, because of the specifically, distressingly, limiting guidelines, basically decimated the whole sort of Star Trek fan film, sort of community and culture that was sort of happening at the time. And what they did was they turned around and said, well, we can't do the film, but what we can do due to the guidelines is we can do two 15-minute segments. So what we'll do is we will do the next two chapters of the Axanar, prelude to Axanar documentary, and we'll treat this like a real documentary, and we'll do that was part 3, I think, and we're going to do part 4 and 5. And that's how we'll tell the story of the 4 Years' War. You won't get the film, but you'll get more prelude to Axanar, and it will actually tell what happens. So you'll find out what happens, and you'll sort of see some of it. But I always thought that was a bit of a cop-out. I feel like it got them out of actually delivering the film that they promised. And I doubt they ever could have delivered the film they promised, partly because a lot of the people left the production afterwards and things changed, and I don't think they had the same setup that they had before and would have needed to actually complete the film as promised. But the thing I noticed, and it sort of occurred to me later, is he's now kind of built in this potential for further fundraising, because if they do actually finish part 4 and 5, they apparently have filmed all the talking head shots and they're just working on the effects and putting in the backgrounds, and it will supposedly actually emerge late this year or early next year, the actual parts, the rest of the the main parts of this docu-series from Starfleet about the 4 Years' War. And the fact that he set it up as, well, this is part 4, 5 and 6, I think is what it was, that means, well, is he going to go back and try and do a George Lucas and fundraise to produce part 1 and 2? Because he could do that for the next decade. That could take forever to fundraise and to do, and there's all these things that could go wrong, of course. They could delay it and drag it out, and it could just be a repeat of Axanar. So I'm just curious what people think of this anniversary, what people think of them celebrating this anniversary. Like, what are you celebrating? The fact that you didn't produce anything, you didn't finish anything, that you started production that still hasn't finished? What I didn't understand what they were trying to celebrate. But do you think they've basically set this up so now, even if they do finish this, then they can just keep rolling on into the next one. Well, we have to produce part 1 and 2 and part 7, and we need your money, of course, to do this. Like, and just keep going forever and ever and ever. Is that what's going to happen? Am I the only person thinking this and looking at this scenario and going, I think that's where that's going? So yeah, I just found it bizarre that they're doing a 10th anniversary video and a celebration, and then I sort of was looking at it and realised, you know what, this may not be over, because even if they do finish this, the series, the Prelude to Axanar series, documentary series, isn't finished. Are they going to then do that? So I found that all very curious, and I just want to see what other people thought. So here I am. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the whole Axanar thing.